Welcome back, everybody. We carry on talking about Western Province Club Rugby and what's happening with Club Rugby in Western Province. And of course, joining me on the line now, no stranger to Cape Rugby TV, and it's conversation time, Morgan Newman. Morgs, nice to have you back on the line. How are things there with you?
How's it, James? Yeah, good to be back. Thanks, man. It's been a while, eh? Hopefully we can get into studios soon, man. We sit a meter and a half away from each other anyway, don't we? Can't I get back into studio with you sometimes?
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't think we're quite there yet. We probably could, but things are a little bit tricky. Morgs, of course, we spoke to Phil Cronje last week about Hamilton's, and one of the things we touched base on was old boys rugby structures at Western Province. And we thought we would have a conversation, you a little bit about old boys. You've been involved with rugby at many levels, from schoolboy rugby to the under-21 side, to the junior sides, Stormers, Club Rugby, Western Province. How important is it for any club structure to have an old boys structure?
Look, James, it's funny. I belong to the old boys of Marty's and I belong to the old boys of Hamilton's. So I'm not quite sure where my allegiances do lie, but of utmost importance. I mean, if I, because I'm so heavily involved with Hamilton's still, I'm probably a bit more involved or more inclined to be involved with the Marty's old boys. And to just see the amount of work that these guys do, from getting together to making sure that, the players, the club still runs, and, especially now when there's no rugby, then the old boys is kind of the heart and soul of the club, Yes, when rugby will start again, things will change, but it's just so important. I mean, it keeps guys together. I still see guys coming together and having chats, and also just a network, that network is so important. I mean, the Marty's network especially, these guys are doing business together. They, you need something. The first point of call is the old boys group, the old boys email list, just to find out, I need a plumber. Is there somebody that does plumbing? I need a painter. Is there somebody that does painting? And the list goes on. The business goes from the right all the way, from the bottom all the way to the top. So fantastic initiative that was started obviously many moons ago, and we've sort of lost that over a period of time. But lockdown has now taught us to bring it back, and I'm so happy to see it alive and well, and us really making use of it. So fantastic. And to other clubs out there, old boys, anyone that's ever been involved with the club, that should be our first point of call. We are a community, we are a we're a family, we're a community, and we should be digging deeper into that. We don't make enough use of it. And that's what I've learned over the last while is, if I look for something, that should technically be my first point of call, not Facebook or Google or so forth,
So one of the things that is, of course, happening at Western Province at the moment is the media marketing and sponsorship workshops that the clubs are busy with, where they're allocating a team to specifically dedicated to media marketing and sponsorships and building the databases and building the social media platforms at a club. And this is something that we've been working on for a long time, but we're now seeing a much more focused approach. And one of the components that the guys have been talking about is the value that you need to add to the club structure, to the members. I mean, in your opinion, what are the kind of things that old boys or past players actually want to see?
Well, that's the reality, Jeff. We need to become self-sufficient as clubs. And I think too easily in the past, we've looked for handouts, if you want to call it that. We've just looked for someone to sponsor the club with no real return on their investment, with no real return other than just a love for the club. So here's a bit of money. Now we're realizing that we can actually give these sponsors value. And through old boys, through social media, through marketing, through the database which the club should have, every fan, every individual that walks through those gates should be accounted for, because in some way, shape, or form, they add value, and so I think as a sponsor of the club, to come back to the original, as a sponsor of the club, there is definitely a return on investment. And with times that have been so tough, COVID has taught us that everything is not all sunshine and roses, and being able to tap into a database of a couple of hundred to a couple of thousand, whatever it may be, is valuable, because there are resources out there we can use.
Is it important to sort of celebrate the players more than beyond the old boys and just activities and gatherings, but is it remembering their activities, their matches, their celebrations?
Yeah, 100%, Chaps. I mean, I'm a big advocate for letting players know of the players that have worn the jersey before them. Because when you pull that jersey over your head, you're representing every single one of those individuals. And when you go onto the rugby field knowing that that's the responsibility that you carry, then the way you carry yourself on the rugby field, it takes a little bit of a different shape and form. I mean, when I looked at Marties, for example, the Jean de Villiers and the Joan de Jongs that all wore that jersey, the same jersey that I wore, it gave me a sense of responsibility. And I think when clubs dig deep into who wore those jerseys before it, then when a first team runs onto the field, they run onto the field with a sense of responsibility, a sense of ownership in representing that club to the best of their ability. And sometimes we lose that. So celebrating past players is one way of definitely, letting players know, putting up their jerseys, around the clubhouse. We don't see nothing. We don't see old players' club jerseys hanging on the walls around the clubs. So you don't quite know. And sometimes when you dig deep, there's some serious names that start to, come to the fore.
What about the match day activities? When you actually you've managed to engage with your fans and your members. I mean, rugby's all about gees, it's all about passion, and it's not just the 80 minutes. People are coming for the pre-match activity, the during the match activity, the post-match activity. How important is all that?
Yeah, Jeff, clubs now more than ever need to get people there for more than the 80 minutes of rugby that happens on the field. So pre-match entertainment, halftime entertainment, post-match entertainment. I hate to break it, I hate to admit to it, but the Americans do it so right. I mentioned this before on the show, I think, but I went to Madison Square Garden and you watch a basketball game, and a basketball game is however many minutes long, but you're there for 2 or 3 hours because of entertainment before, and there they celebrate their past heroes. So we can take a leaf out of their hats and definitely, have entertainment on the field for the kids, play touch rugby on the field, and get somebody to come and sing, a little local hero from the town or the community to come and sing on the field and add a bit of entertainment, do whatever it is. Have some entertainment before the match, and then post-match, the players, entertain the players. These guys have put in a hard 80 minutes. Let them sit back and watch maybe other talented individuals from around the community, display their skills, because you have people walking through your gate. We might as well entertain them for as long as possible and make it a festival, make it a day, make every single rugby match we play an occasion, because the reality is also, you don't know when the opportunity is going to come again, and lockdown has taught us that.
All right, Morgs, we'll leave it at that. Some great words of advice there, and hopefully we'll catch up with you again soon.
Yeah, James, always good to be on your show, man. Thanks for having me. Chat again soon. Cheers, guys.
There we go, folks. Morgan Newman, of course, former Western Province rugby player, Stormers player, Marties player, Hamilton's player, and I'm pretty sure that if we're going to get some sage advice, good input on entertaining rugby, then he's the guy to speak to. So nice to hear there from Morgs. Folks, that's a wrap from us here this evening. We will see you again next week, same time, same place. Remember, please practice all the health and safety protocols, follow all the guidelines, maintain the social distancing, and we'll see you again next weekend. Bye-bye.